watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Well, if rainy days and Mondays always get you down, we can help you out on one thing. It stopped raining. It's still Monday, though, but we have baseball for you. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Cleveland Indians in the first game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees took the weekend series against the Mets, 2 games out of 3, and last night was a thriller. We thought it was going to be a pitching matchup. It didn't turn out that way, and again for the Yankees, Paul, the home run played a big role.
Well, it's been the way they've scored runs to this point in the season. They've been so bad at driving runners in, but this is the way they do it. Nick Swisher, who's been pretty much hot the last couple of weeks, hits an 11th home run of the year, a big 3-run home run, and Robinson Cano, 5 home runs in his last 7. This is an absolute bomb. 440-some feet out past the apple. Good Subway Series for the Yankees.
Yankees won that game 6-5 because of that home run, and they loved interleague play, Paul. 13-5, 4.7 runs per game, average 248, 33 home runs in the 18 games. But look at the ERA. That's the key, 2.87. And the American League, again, beat up on the National League, winning the series 142-110. Let's look at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. For the Indians, Josh Tomlin will get the start, 3-4, 5.12. And for the Yankees, it's Hiroki Kuroda, who's 6-7 with a 3.57. All right, so what do we know about this Indian team? They're in second place in the Central by a half game. They've got some good parts you might know. But the key for them, the back end of their bullpen and up the middle. We'll elaborate next. So up the middle, they are strong. At shortstop and second base, Cabrera 296, Kipnis 276. He also steals a lot of bases. And they have a great closer in Chris Perez. And remember, Hafner and Sizemore are still on the DL, so the Indians could be getting better. That's Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. When you're a team like the Indians, you're not a great team, but when you have leads, you want to close it out. A guy like Perez is invaluable.
Well, they're very good in close games. Actually, I was reading the thing. They're 12-2 in one-run games. And if you're not going to score a lot of runs, and you see Chris Perez, he's a hard thrower, you better be able to win the close games. That's what makes the Cleveland Indians dangerous.
Absolutely, and Perez can throw it by people, and when he teams up with Vinny Pestano, they have the 8th and 9th inning pretty much locked down. Well, the Yankees will have to deal with that over the next couple of days. Hiroki Kuroda will get the start for the Yankees. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball next, right here on Yes. Tri-State GMC dealer. Why just go when you can go pro? By J&R Music and Computer World. And by Honda, celebrating the summer with great deals at Honda's 4th of July sales event. It was raining earlier. The tarp was on between 6 and 7 o'clock, and we're just thrilled that everything seems to have cleared up, and we are going to have baseball here tonight. The Yankees fresh off of taking 2 out of 3 from the New York Mets. Yankees have been playing very good baseball of late, despite having lost 3 in a row before the last 2 against the Mets, and the Yankees reside in first place in the American League East. So they exchange the lineups at home plate. Manny Acta, the manager of the Indians. Indians are 37 and 34. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup that was put together by Manny Acta. Leading off and playing right field, Shin-Soo Choo. The shortstop and batting second, Asdrubal Cabrera. Jason Kipnis can run. The second baseman will hit third. Cleaning up, catcher Carlos Santana. Michael Brantley in center field will bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing left field, Johnny Damon. Casey Kochman at first base will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing third base, Jack Hanahan. And Lonnie Chisenhall will DH, and he is going to bat ninth. A little bit of a rainbow look there as the rain clearing up. The sky starting to clear as well. One thing with the Indians team, they can play some defense, especially at the corners. They're not the greatest hitting team that you've ever seen, but they have been able to stick in the Central as the Tigers have stumbled. So you've got the Chicago White Sox, who are a little bit of a surprise. Now with the acquisition of Kevin Youkilis, you've got the Cleveland Indians, and some people still expect the Detroit Tigers to win it. Here is Hiroki Kuroda. Those are his numbers. 14 starts, 6 and 7, good ERA, less than a hit per inning, 28 walks, 62 strikeouts. Opponents hit .257 against Kuroda. Let's take a look now at the McDonald's pitcher scouting report, Paul.
Well, turning things around. First 9 starts of the year, 3 and 6 with a 4.56 ERA. Last 5 starts, he's been the Yankees' best pitcher. 3 and 1, 2.06 ERA. Shutdown man. Has an 0.5 ERA in shutdown innings. What's a shutdown inning? That's after your team scores. I tried to keep that current for you.
Nice, yeah.
And leader of the pack, he leads all Japanese-born pitchers all time. His all-time ERA, his career ERA, 3.46, leads in that category.
So the Yankees getting their first look at the Indians, and in fact, this whole week, the Yankees are going to get their first look at an opponent. 3 against the Indians, and then 4 against the Chicago White Sox. Let's check out the Yankee defense behind Kuroda, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Ibanez, Wise, and Swisher. Infield, Chavez, just a day off for Alex Rodriguez. Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and Mark Teixeira third and first. Curtis Granderson's the DH. That's why Wise is playing at center. Chris Stewart behind the plate, as Russell Martin's back, still bothering him just a bit. And Hiroki Kuroda is on the mound. So we're almost ready for baseball here at the stadium. The Indians have been in first place 40 of the 81 days in the season so far. Kuroda says, I'm about to throw my last warm-up. So he wants Robinson Cano at second to take the throw from Chris Stewart. And there it is. And
like it or not, that's it.
That's it. That's all you get. So we're ready for baseball. Big home run for Cano yesterday. Gave the Yankees that 6-5 win. Paul talked about it in our open. That was just a monster shot, about 440 feet. And the Yankees needed that to get out of Queens with a series win.
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael, that you don't adjust your screen, but there's a weird lineup coming at Kuroda tonight, including their switch hitters.
Right.
Every batter that goes through this lineup will line up on the left side of the plate.
Look
all
at you.
Lefties.
Wow.
All lefties.
All right, let's see how they do. Chu is in. Kuroda is ready. And let's do it. Here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. First pitch is swung on and missed, and we are underway.
I'll tell you what, Chu's a good all-around player. He's leading the league in doubles. Has really turned it around since they moved him to the leadoff spot. Really not your guy that you would think of as a leadoff hitter because he has some power. He's really turned his year around.
Scored 44 runs. Indians just lost 2 out of 3 to the Astros on what will be a 10-game road trip. And Chu was 2 for 12 in that series. Pitches outside, 2-1. In those 3 games, they hit just 167 against the Astros.
Shows you how hot he is, Michael, because read those stats. Before that, 1 for 12.
9 for 25. Deep fly ball left field. And Ibanez will make the play on the warning track, then leaning up against the scoreboard for the first out.
Again, Raul Ibanez came over here to be a DH. He's ended up being a left fielder because Brett Gardner, but you know, he's getting more comfortable out there. He's going to make the plays that he should make. And you know, if you're Joe Girardi, that's all you ask of him.
Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 64 degrees, high humidity. The wind's 9 miles per hour, and it's partly cloudy. Isolated thunderstorms in the forecast.
You say that word funny, T.
T. How should I say it?
When you do the scouting report, you throw out if there's an accent to it or something.
T?
Yeah. Just want you to notice that tomorrow.
You've really missed me, haven't you?
It's been a while.
I don't know how you can put an accent on a T.
There you go again. You threw it out there right there.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, one of the better kept secrets in baseball. This guy can play. Strike.
There's that backup fastball. Throw it at the left-hander and try to break it back over the plate. Probably got a pretty good break there. Is that being strike two?
And the 0-2.
Michael, you said it. Cabrera, one of the guys, you know, in Cleveland, Ohio, you don't get a lot of exposure. As far as just talent out on the baseball field, one of the better shortstops in all of baseball, both defensively, offensively.
Swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes.
Good job of pitching there by Kuroda. Really, you know, busted him inside. As a hitter, you start looking inside, you kind of open up, and there's that changeup away. Split finger he uses. That thing looks so hittable in that yes mode, doesn't it, Mike?
I know it's not. People will like this player. This guy is going to be a pretty big star. Jason Kipnis, he has 17 stolen bases and 18 attempts. Second baseman, 41 ribbies, batting third in the order.
Just players like this are very easy to root for. I mean, originally he was an outfielder, and now he's a second baseman. Just, you know, shows up to the ballpark. Like, it reminds me of Justin Pedroia a little bit. Not a huge guy, but hits with power. Absolutely, he's leading all of you know, the Indians lineup in home runs and RBIs. So he does a lot of things for this team offensively.
We've been seeing a lot of pretty good hitting second baseman. The Yankees Braves series, one of the rare times you'll see both second basemen batting cleanup. Pagla and Cano. The 2-1. There's a strike. There's that pitch Paul was talking about, 2-2.
You know, Kuroda, we talk about his last 5 starts, and you can see this confidence in his control. That ball right there, not an easy pitch to throw. Comes in, breaks right over the inside corner, just freezes the left-handed hitter.
Hit sharply to Cano. He gets a nice hop. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Hiroki Kuroda. So the Indians go down in order. Indians nothing, and the New York Yankees come to bat. Let's see what they do offensively. Their starting lineup is presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, will lead off, batting second, and DHing half a night off, Curtis Granderson. Batting third is the first baseman, Mark Teixeira. Robinson Cano at second will bat fourth. Batting fifth, playing right field, Nick Swisher. The number 6 hitter, left fielder, Raul Ibanez. Eric Chavez at third base will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter, center fielder, Dwayne Wise. And Chris Stewart will catch it. He's going to bat ninth. Let's give you the numbers on Josh Tomlin. 11 games, 10 starts, 3-4, 5.12, 74 hits in 63 and a third innings, 15 walks, not bad, 38 strikeouts, but opponents hitting .291 against him. And let's take a look at the McDonald's pitcher scouting report.
Well, early and often, over a 10-point ERA in the first inning, second highest in the major. Night and day, it's a different pitcher. Night game is 2-2 with a 3.9. Day games, he's 1-2 with a 9.2. And Bronx bomber stopper has never given up a home run to the New York Yankees. He's 2-1 lifetime. And that's weird because the Yankees, as everybody knows, leads all major leagues in home runs, 112 this season.
Pitch is low, 1-0. Derek struggled in the final Subway Series. He had just 2 hits in 14 at-bats. He's actually 5 for his last 29, as his average is now at .305. Jeter, a career .340 hitter against Cleveland. Santana scoops it up. The Yankees have done well against Cleveland here at Yankee Stadium and the one across the street. Since 2002, they're 26-9 against the Indians at home.
It's funny you say that, Michael. Career, that's his best team that he hits against. And if you think about it, that's where it all started. 1996, remember opening day in Cleveland? First start at shortstop.
Home run against Dennis Martinez.
Sure. That was a jar on your memory there. It just comes right back like that. It's amazing.
It's not that good, believe me. Here's the 3-1. Fouled away.
You see that you talk about Derek lately not hitting the ball, and those are the pitches. A 3-1 fastball as a leadoff hitter. You know you're going to get a good pitch. Early in the year when Derek was at his best, drive that ball to right center field. See that ball right down the middle of the plate, ends up in the stands. When you're hot, you don't foul that pitch off.
Tomlin deals the 3-2. Fouled away. Cleveland's staff has a 4.50 ERA, so that's 10th in the American League. They have not been getting great pitching, but their next 2 starters tomorrow night and then Wednesday afternoon actually have pitched very, very well. Masterson and Ubaldo Jimenez. 3-2. Fouled away.
You see Tim Tomlin just cranking strikes in there. Doesn't walk a lot of people. As a leadoff hitter, Derek's in a great situation knowing that he's going to get a good pitch to hit.
Those are the rankings. 13th in ERA, 11th in batting average against. They do have a lot of quality starts. And 12th in strikeouts, so they don't have to swing and miss that much. 3-2. Driven down the right field line. And foul. You know, we talked about this earlier, and I wanted to get your take, Paul. The Yankees have 112 home runs this year. And with those 112 home runs, they've driven in 177 runs. Both of those figures are the highest for any team in the majors. Now, they've only scored 160 runs that weren't driven in by homers. And that's the second fewest in the majors to the Pirates. Ground ball up the middle. One away. So Joe Girardi has said, well, we are what we are. We're a home run hitting team. Is it harder to hit home runs in the postseason?
Oh, definitely. Starting pitching in the postseason is better. You're going to get far less opportunities to get the, to the 4th and 5th starters. And you're not going to get to that middle relief like you do. So, sure, it is harder. But, this is a home run team. I thought that was one of Joe Girardi's best interviews he's done. This is what we are. This is how we're going to win. Accept it. And until Gardner gets back and you get a guy that can steal bases and run and do different things, this is what you have. You've got veteran players that happen to be hitting home runs. Now, there's no reason that in the second half of the season the Yankees can't become a little bit better at driving in with, driving runs in with runs in scoring position, because as a team they have not done that to this point.
Driven deep to right field. But foul.
See, even the foul balls are home runs when the Yankees hit them.
Now, Paul, with runners in scoring position as a team, they hit 219. I think the league average, major league average, is about 260.
Yeah, and you have to look at it. We're lucky we hit home runs, or we wouldn't be in the position we were in first place. For the most part, the Yankees catch the ball. They play decent defense. They have good pitching, and they have a great bullpen right now. So that's the way they're winning games.
And no one's denying that they are probably making the postseason just by hitting the home runs, because they do get big home runs. But this team and this organization has always planned to win World Series. And I guess the big question is, can you rely on the home run in the postseason? Because when they got knocked out like last year against the Tigers, they didn't hit that many home runs, so they got knocked out in the first round.
As you look back at the times where we won a World Series, I mean, there were big home runs that helped win games, but there were also times you'd love as a manager to have have it both ways. Guys that do drive the ball out of the ballpark and also have the opportunity to steal bases, hit and run, and steal runs when you need them.
And I guess it would all make sense, Paul, if the Yankees from 1 to 9 had Adam Dunn's. Because Adam Dunn is going to hit a home run or not, or strike out. But the back of their baseball card would indicate they should hit better with runners in scoring position while hitting home runs.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Teixeira's always been good at driving in runs. I mean, Curtis Granderson has found this home run stroke in the last couple years. But, guys like Robbie Cano that are just gifted hitters should hit probably better with runners in scoring position, because you dig in more.
Granderson putting together a good at bat. He's also staring at one of the most extreme shifts we've ever seen against him. 3 infielders on the right side, and the shortstop is not even close to behind second base, and the third baseman is playing up the middle. And he works a walk. Let's check out that Indian defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, our old friend Johnny Damon. Then you've got Brantley and Chu from left to right. Hanahan, Cabrera, Kipnis, and Kochman third to first. They can catch the ball in that infield. Santana behind the plate, and Tomlin is on the mound. Here's Mark Teixeira. They're shifting for him as well. And there's a strike. Now, Teixeira has been doing well of late as he's driven his average up to 253, and he said that started when he ignored the shift. He was thinking too much about going the other way, and he said, I'm just going to be who I am. And his numbers have gotten better.
A shift a lot of times is to disrupt, what the hitter tries to do. And sometimes, managers will intentionally do certain things as a hitter to try to get in your head. Sometimes the shift has nothing to do with, that you never hit the ball to left field. It's just to get you, to get you thinking about certain things. Whenever I saw a shift, I always thought that I was going to be pitched a certain way. And it always didn't happen that way. But, if I saw a shift, I thought they were going to come in and expect me to pull the ball. Next thing you know, you roll over a ball in the outside corner. So a lot of times it can work.
The 0-2, 1-2.
I was watching the game, Michael, and you could read Mark Teixeira's lips when he came to CC Sabathia, and he said, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that ball. You're so used to seeing him never let him, and it wasn't an easy play. I think the runner gotten his vision, but you're just so accustomed to seeing him catch everything at him. To see him go up and apologize to a pitcher, I thought it was pretty cool.
Sabathia gave up 5 runs yesterday, but his defense did betray him. 4 of those 5 were unearned. He didn't get the decision. Boone Logan, who's really put together a really good year, he got the win, so he's now 2-0. 2-2. Foul back.
Yeah, I was watching that game last night, and the first thing that came to my mind is, here's the Subway Series, and now it's played in 2 different ballparks, not even the same ballpark. This resembles Yankee Stadium much more than Citi Field resembles Shea Stadium.
Oh, yes.
Totally different over there, where they tried to keep, the history of everything that happened here, and they did a good job with the new stadium.
And it was also funny leading into that series. Mets manager Terry Collins said, well, they hit home runs against us at the stadium. It's not going to be as easy at Citi Field, but there doesn't seem to be a ballpark to hold the Yankees. They hit plenty of home runs and big ones in that weekend series. 2-2. That one is drilled to right. Going back, Chu looking up. It's off the wall. Granderson will go to third. And Teixeira's going, I got a single out of that?
I'll tell you what, did you see that throw from Chu? I mean to tell you, he has got a great arm. Ball just hit the top of the wall. As a right fielder, you get it. You see Mark Teixeira, this frustrates you as a hitter. You get a hit, but you're going down the line thinking it might go out, but it has enough top spin. Chu, I tell you what, this ball bound, he throws an absolute bullet to second base.
This is how close it was to a home run. Wow. 2 inches maybe.
That's a top spin forehand that you hit in tennis. It just catches the top of the net. See him back legging, high pitch. Just gets a little under and gets that top spin where it comes down.
Here's Cano. He had the game winner yesterday against Miguel Batista. And these are one of the situations where Cano has not excelled this year. He has just 10 hits and 65 at bats. It's hard to believe he's hitting 154 with runners in scoring position. And that's why he only has 36 ribbies with 16 home runs.
Yeah, somebody that's good as Robinson Cano as a hitter, it has to be something going on when he goes up to in these positions thinking about it, because he's just not the same kind of hitter. I mean, if you look at this swing right here, I mean, that's one thing you don't notice on TV is you can't understand the power and the grace behind his swing because it doesn't show up on camera just how good a hitter he is. But that ball, I mean, like I said, went 440 some feet.
The 2-0. There's a base hit with runners in scoring position. Granderson scores. It's going to roll to the wall. Teixeira rounds third. They're waving him home. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's in there. Moving to third is Cano, and he's gunned down. But a 2-run double by Robbie Cano, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
So many things happened on this play. I mean, Robbie Thompson did a good job at taking the chance. Teixeira makes a good slide. Starts off with a bullet by Robbie Cano. Doesn't get out of the box real well because he stood on his back foot. But once he read that this ball there was going to be at the plate, then he continues on. Good play at third also.
If you're keeping score at home, 2-run score, 2 ribbies, and he's out 8-4-2-5, trying to stretch.
And if you watch that pitcher as a runner and you're not even to third base, that's what you want. Robbie Thompson was waving him in the whole time, and there's nothing worse than coming around third base with that question mark still not knowing whether you're going or not.
Tomlin has thrown 30 pitches. There's number 31. Count 1-1 on Swisher. Two and two. Swisher's been red hot of late. 13 for his last 31. In his last 9 games, that's 419.
And every once in a while, Nick Swisher, you can tell, just is going to look dead fastball and take a chance out of hitting one out. And he did that on the last pitch. Tomlin took a little bit off through a changeup. But as a hitter, when you're doing that, there's nothing worse than putting it in play. You'd rather swing through it and get an opportunity.
Check swing. So the count is full at 3-2. With Tom Hallion, the crew chief, at third. And Mike DeMuro is behind the plate.
Tomlin's got to feel like he's in the 3rd inning already. So many pitches, so many guys on base, balls hit hard. Really hasn't found a pitch yet that has been consistent to get by the hitters or to get outs with.
Swing and a miss, so he strikes out Swisher. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 2 hits and a walk, a big double with runners on 1st and 3rd by Robinson Cano. That swing gave the Yankees a 2-0 lead. Carlos Santana will lead off the 2nd for the Indians. Tonight's question: if you were starting a team tomorrow, which of these shortstops, age 26 or younger, would you want most? Here are your choices. Is it Elvis Andrus, Asdrubal Cabrera, Starlin Castro, Ian Desmond, or D. Gordon? You can text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply.
Is there a standout there for you? You don't have to tell
I really
me.
like Starlin Castro a lot.
Yeah, I like Cabrera here. Really, really good all-around play.
They're all good. Santana. Oh, what a play by Cano from his knees. He gets him.
And Robbie Cano, again, we talk about how good he is defensively. I mean, as you're diving to adjust your glove on that ball, came up a little bit. Again, yes, Mo is fun to watch, but it doesn't capture how hard these plays are for Robbie to make.
There's a strike to Brantley.
Just reading here, Brantley's a career 156 hitter with 9 Ks versus the Yankees. He's 3 for 17 in Yankee Stadium. There's some ballparks that you just can't wait to get up to the plate, and this is one where you're like, here we go again, huh?
And he should love this, you would think.
Yeah, there's not too many left-handed hitters that don't like to come into the new Yankee Stadium and swing it.
Count 1-1.
Uncle Brantley's father, you remember Mickey Brantley out in Seattle? Second generation.
So many people on Twitter, Paul, are asking me, where's O'Neill? Where's O'Neill? You haven't been doing a game for a while, but you were getting a son married.
Yeah, we was, you know what? And you went through.
There's a base hit from Brantley.
How many plans could you possibly make for a one-day event?
And how much money can you possibly spend?
You can spend a lot. There's no doubt about that. I was looking for Yogi Berra today, and he usually is in on the first day, and I thought, you know what? They plan D-Day in like 1 or 2 days. It took a year and a half to plan this wedding, and I was going to ask Yogi about that. I thought he'd get a kick out of that. But
nice hand here for Johnny Damon as he comes up to the plate. Johnny's numbers are not great. 202, 3 homers, and 13 runs batted in. He's actually been hot of late, 14 out of his last 50. So that tells you how far he's come. He missed spring training, signed late, looking for a team, and here he is with the Indians.
And Johnny Damon has put on a lot of uniforms, a lot of different hairstyles, a lot of different teams, but one thing he has done, he's always produced, he's always been a winner. Leaning there. It's if you're a base runner, you're like, oh, he caught me leaning, so I can't go on this pitch.
Pitch is outside. Johnny Damon's resume is an impressive one. He's won 3 world championships, or actually 2. He was not there for the second one in Boston. 1 with the Red Sox, 1 with the Yankees. 2-time All-Star, 18th big league season, and you know he wants to get 3,000 hits. 2749. He's 38 years old. It's going to be tough.
That's going to be just almost at his limit. I mean, if you think what he's got left and the opportunities he's going to have.
Teixeira thinks about going to second. He'll take the out at first. Also, he's having a hard time getting jobs. You can't miss the month of April and pick up enough hits.
Right.
So he grounds out. Now a runner at second with 2 outs.
I mean, this is an ideal job for him. You think about it. There's a team that's starting to, to come on, a young team, but you bring in a veteran player to kind of help younger players. You just wonder if he'll get the at-bats he needs to get those hits. But, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you've got Sizemore and Hafner that are on the disabled list year after year, so you're going to have to bring in some other veteran players because those guys just can't get out on the field.
Casey Kochman fouls it off.
What a shocker. Casey Kochman, a good hitter. And, if you look at his stats right here, hitting 230. This guy is capable of being a 300 hitter. For some reason, the Cleveland Indians have just not, even though they're a winning team, above 500, just have not scored runs consistently.
He had a good year last year with the Rays. He's a great defender at first, but he didn't hit for enough power. Oh, 0-2.
Looking at Kuroda, I remember calling a couple of his first starts, and the big difference is his counts, 1-2, 0-2, where he can really start to use that split finger. Where early in the year, he wasn't getting to these counts where people would swing at balls out of the zone.
The 0-2, like that, as Kochman goes down swinging. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 man left. We're going to the bottom of the second. Raul Ibanez will lead off as Kochman goes down swinging. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Volvo. Pay nothing to repair or maintain your new Volvo for the first 5 years. And by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Raul Ibanez will lead off against Tomlin. And the first pitch is outside. Tomlin had a long, tough first inning. He threw 35 pitches and gave up 2 runs. There's a strike. Ibanez had 3 hits yesterday. Had that big 3-run home run on Saturday against the Mets. He's always hit R.A. Dickey very well. How did you do against knuckleballers?
I hit Wakefield pretty well. Necro I've faced a couple times, like in spring training, but I always thought you had to hit the ball up in the zone. Wakefield was a lot different because he would get ahead with a slow knuckleball and then progressively get harder, where Dickey kind of throws that hard one throughout the whole count, which is much tougher.
Ibanez strikes out. Well, Nick Swisher said that the theory is if it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go. That's pretty much it with knuckleballs?
Yeah, you have to look for the ball up in the zone because anything, belt high or lower is going to end up in the dirt, and you can't do anything with it anyway.
Here's Chavez. Had a big home run that won the game on Saturday against John Roush the other way, right down the left field line.
First pinch hit home run of his career, I thought. Okay.
I think so. I've always heard so many theories that you have to have a short, quick swing for a knuckleball. But then one of the best knuckleball hitters I've ever seen is Darryl Strawberry,
right,
who had a long swing, but he had a quick swing. This is the home run against Roush.
See that pitch high. High, let it fly. And the reason Strawberry had a long looping swing, but his bat, there's a zone that you hit in where you make contact with the ball. And if you're, a lot of people's home run hitters enter that zone and get out of it real quick. If you kind of drag your bat through that zone and you stay through it, you have much better chance of hitting slow off-speed pitches and a knuckleball. And Strawberry had that kind of swing that stayed through the zone the whole way. Do you understand that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because Mark Teixeira tried to explain, he said a better hitter against a knuckleballer is a guy with an uppercut swing. He said because the knuckleball's always going down. Mm-hmm. He said if you have a level swing, he said you have less of a chance to hit it because it doesn't stay on the same plane.
It's a really weird pitch because you see all the slow motion replays on television.
Oh, tough hop. Kotzman could not handle it. Hit something as Chavez will pick up a base hit.
Yeah, every once in a while, as a first baseman or in any kind of infield, you do everything you can and you get a hop like that. Nothing you can do. See those eye levels just change. But back to the knuckleball, you just can't really fathom how much those things move. If you ever have a ball and have a little sand in it and you kind of roll it and it wobbles all over the place, that's kind of the action of a knuckleball. And it kind of defies everything you do from playing catch to trying to hit. The baseball just doesn't move that way.
For those that didn't play at this level, the best way to explain, is it like a wiffle ball?
Yeah, but a wiffle ball kind of tracks in the same way. It'll kind of sail or something. The best way I can explain it is like one of those,
beach balls.
Beach balls that have a little sand in it, and you kind of roll it around, and it kind of wobbles and goes fast and slow, and it's really weird.
Well, Dickey has been great, and he's probably pitched himself onto the All-Star team, but he did not have the great knuckleball yesterday. He admitted that. The Yankees took advantage and got the win, although Dickey did not get the loss. 1-1 count on Wise.
Michael, this is amazing. I sit up in the booth. You do every show in the world, and now I even look, and I read you in the background. You even got billboards up at the ballpark.
Yeah, but that's all about Joe Buck.
Oh, okay.
He was the guest. He'll be on Thursday at 11 p.m.
You do have a point. His name is bigger than yours on that billboard.
He's got a better job. Not a better job. He does the World Series. The 1-2. That one's driven deep to right field. Going back, Chu, looking up. See ya! A 2-run home run for Dwayne Wise. And the Yankees now lead 4-0.
Tomlin, not the type of pitcher that can pitch up in the zone and make mistakes. When you give Granderson a day off, you give Wise a start, you think maybe we'll get by, and all of a sudden he comes through with a big home run. So this pitch just a hanging breaking ball up in the zone. Watch Derek Jeter's reaction. Yeah, didn't take long.
Pretty long home run. As Paul would say, that was in Modellville.
Anytime you get out, State Farm on the left side and Modell's on the right, you get above those signs. That's what happens when you hang breaking balls.
Chris Stewart. State Farmville.
Yeah. We're talking about anything up in here. Drawing on the wrong TV, Michael. You can see it's been a while.
Swing and a miss. Stewart down on strikes.
Tomlin gets a breaking ball down in the zone, and again it comes back to the count. Stewart behind in the count, not an everyday player. Trying to just put the ball in play. And Tomlin, if you look at what's happening, I mean, he throws a good slider, then he hangs one, and then he throws a good changeup, then he hangs one. His fastball, you see that 89 miles an hour is just not good enough to throw by guys. So, these are the type of nights that it's going to be very tough.
There's a strike.
Derek reaching for that one, and Derek's natural swing, if you remember earlier in the year when he was really hot driving the ball to right center field, that was the pitch he was almost looking for, where you'll see this front hip kind of opening up where this outside corner becomes very far, and it's really hard to do anything with that pitch when you're opening up.
There's a ground ball to short. Cabrera. And that will do it. Well, Joe Girardi had a decision. How do I get Curtis Granderson half a day off? Well, I'll DH him. Well, who do I choose to play center? Obviously, it was a wise choice. Time Warner customers, you won't have to miss a game again now that you can watch live Yes Network Yankee games on your PCs or laptops with Time Warner Cable. Get the remaining season of live Yankees games on the go for just $39.99. If you're a Time Warner Cable customer, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. All right, Yankees have 4 runs, and they're up 4-0 as Hanahan takes a strike. Well, there goes that stat you gave, Paul. You said that Tom would never give up a home run to the Yankees. That's out.
Yeah, I'm starting to take pages from your book.
You're the anti-jinx. Yeah.
You talk about it, it happens. Michael, you were so good at that. Do you know that you have a 16-game handing? Wow, there's an 0 for 5. it was as soon as it left your mouth, I didn't want to play that now.
Lincoln scoreboard 4-0. Honestly, when I was annoying you with all those questions, you never thought you'd be working with me, ever.
This has become a long working thing, too.
Yes.
It's not like it's been a day or two.
It's 11 years.
Wow.
That's more years than you're with the Yankees, right?
Yeah, there's a few things that start to make you feel old. You mentioned it. Son getting married, that does not make you feel young. 11 years out of the game, that doesn't make you feel young.
Michael Brantley, you played with his dad. That doesn't make you feel young. You'll be playing on the old timers team on Sunday. That doesn't make you feel young.
I'd probably still make that team. Still start. Huh?
Tino hit a home run last year. I just want to tell you that.
I better start working out. Tino went deep.
Yeah, against Coney.
You know what's weird?
Coney's taking total credit
now
for it.
You're talking about this. This will be my first at bat in the new stadium.
That's right. You've got to go yard.
They move the fences in. Are we able to do that?
The 2-2. 3-2.
You know, you look at the Indians, and you remember last year they were kind of in this same boat where they were surprising a lot of people about this time of the year, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody pulled the blanket out from under them, and all of a sudden you wonder as a manager if these guys really believe that, you know, they're where they're supposed to be, and it's very important to have a pulse on that as a manager to instill in your players that, you know, that you are good enough to compete in this division. Everybody expects Detroit at some point to make a run, but Chicago, Robin Ventura's done a great job. But, I mean, they're right in the thick of things right here. Now you tell me, you look at this 37 and 34, and I read a stat today that they have been outscored like 43 runs. So they've given up more runs than they've scored all year, and they're still above 500, which is an unusual stat.
But last year, the Diamondbacks did it the whole year and made the playoffs.
Unbelievable. I guess you either get blown out or you win a one-run game.
Right. Of late, in June, they've struggled 10 and 11, averaging just 4 runs a game. And the pitching is what gets you, though. 4.67 ERA. That's not going to get it done. Three-two. Backhanded by Jeter. Gets it.
One play that you just expect him to make. He's done it so many times. Good play. Seen that a few times, haven't you, Mike?
Yeah. Strong throw. If you think about it, he doesn't even plant. That's all arm.
Right.
There's Chisenhall.
Hey, isn't tomorrow Derek's birthday?
Yeah. 38.
38 years old. So he's 37 today. He can still make that play.
High fly ball, right field. Swisher makes the play.
Rhoda got away with one there. Just off the end of the bat, enough to keep it in the ballpark. Ball up in the zone. As a hitter, you just hope that you can carry a wind current to get it in the first row, but it didn't quite make it.
So back to the top of the lineup as Chisenhall, the number 9 hitter, flies out to Swisher. Here's Chu. 1-0. Base hit for Chu. So a 2-out single.
Chu's one of those guys that you just watch day in and day out. Pretty much can do everything on the baseball field. He can hit, he can run, good outfielder, great arm. Good fundamentals of everything in the game. Ah, look at Tino. And he knows it's gone, too.
That was last year.
Look at Coney. Probably still mad he gave one up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So this Sunday is the big Old Timers Day, and we'll have it right here on Yes. Our coverage is going to begin at 11 a.m. So we're going to be all over. Ceremony is about 11:15, 11:30. And the regularly scheduled game will be about 2:05. Lou Piniella will also be here.
Is he managing?
No, he's in.
He might keep me out of the lineup.
I don't think he'll play against lefties.
That's for sure.
Popped up. There's Jeter. And he will make the play, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. We go to the bottom of the third. Granderson to Sharon Cano coming up. Us to our New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Damon's played for 7 different American League teams. Only 2 players have played for 8 different AL teams. Who are they? Pitch to Granderson is a strike. We'll find that out in due time. Granderson walked and scored in the first inning. Yankees lead 4-0. Popped up. Hanahan for the first out. One hint, one of those two is a former Yankee.
You know what? The way baseball goes, doesn't one of them have to be an old crafty lefty or something? I mean, pitchers just bounce
You would
around.
think it would be a pitcher, but might be wrong. Lincoln scoreboard 4-0 Yankees. Here's Teixeira. Count 1-0. Mark had a single in the first inning.
Again, you see Tomlin just struggling with the counts, just time and time again. 2-0, 3-1. Just this, that's not his type of game.
Hot shot. Kochman plays and flips to Tomlin for the second out.
I mean, that's an out, but you know the infielders are starting to back up. I mean, guys are getting good swings. He just has to kind of reverse these counts. Talked about Kochman, how good he is defensively. Another tough hop. Not, you know, you use that pocket to catch it. That actually hurts when it hits the heel of your glove and then kind of the palm of your hand.
Pitches inside to Cano. Had a 2-run double in the first inning.
Robbie Cano swinging just a really, really hot bat right now, especially home runs. There goes another one.
High fly, deep to right. Chew back, looking up. See ya. Home run for Cano. It's 5-0 Yanks.
Mike, I didn't want to steal your thunder there with your call, but man, it's just right off the bat, the way he is opening up, the way he's getting to the pitches. You know that Tomlin missed first pitch in. He's trying to pitch him in. If he misses out over the plate at all. So quick inside. That ball ends up inside corner up. Robbie has no problem getting to it.
6th home run in his last 10 hits. Pretty amazing.
Wow.
Swisher takes. Why don't we listen to that, Paul, on how that home run sounded?
Yeah. Robbie Cano swinging just a really, really hot bat right now, especially home runs. There goes another one.
High fly, deep to right. Chew back, looking up. See ya.
That was my first home run call.
Yeah.
It was
There it
very
goes.
subdued, wasn't it?
Very chill.
You know, I love that sound. I was just thinking if Al Leiter was up here or if David Cohn was up, they'd hate that pop sound. Nothing like just a square shot off the barrel of the bat. You know, there's really no telling how good Robbie Cano could be if, you know, you just had somebody just constantly pounding him on how good he could be. And it's very hard over the course of the year not to go through ups and downs. But you have to be careful now because you're in such a home run thing that you can't become a home run hitter all of a sudden. But just day in and day out, if he gives himself 5 good at-bats, it's amazing what kind of numbers he would have.
And he is the captain this year of the American League Home Run Derby team.
You know, that was one of the coolest things in that home run derby. His father throwing last year. That really made a neat story.
And his dad will pitch to him again this year.
Father's towing the rubber again for him.
Tomlin, 71 pitches, and we're in the 3rd inning. The 2-2. Driven out to left field. It's deep. Going back Damon. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya! A home run. Nick Swisher. Back to back for the Yankees. And they're up 6-0.
tell you what, over the last couple weeks, this is as good as Nick Swisher from both sides of the plate has been hit since he's been a New York Yankee. I mean, home runs to left, home runs to right, big home runs, big hits. Johnny Damon knows this ballpark. Great effort just out of his reach.
Ibanez hammers one to right, but foul. That was some catch by the fan as well in left field. So Johnny might get it. Johnny might get it. But the fan in the Yankee shirt got it.
He caught it. Caught it right in front of his face. I'm glad he caught it. Yeah, that's right.
Good job. We had Charlie Sheen on center stage we taped on Saturday, and he said that he was so desperate to catch a home run ball that one day in Anaheim he bought 6,800 seats in left field.
Yeah, he did.
And he and three buddies sat there and they didn't get one. And a walk to Ibanez. 6-0 Yankees, 2 in each of the first 3 innings. And there's going to be a trip to the mound. The old left-hander Scott Radinsky is the pitching coach. And you'll see Scott Barnes warming up. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Radinsky was a pretty good relief pitcher.
Yeah, you know, the funny story about him is he would always be up, and Mattingly would look at me because they didn't even have him up in the bullpen. Right. He would just get up and start throwing the ball against a brick wall. So about the 6th inning or something, you're in the game, and all of a sudden you hear this pow, pow, and you look over there, and here's old lefty out there heaving it against a brick wall. Just get ready.
So a long conference with Tomlin as there's some action in the Indian bullpen we told you about.
It was funny because I was reading their lips right when he walked out, and he's just like, you know, pitching coach, are you all right? What do you mean am I all right? Balls are flying all over the place. I'm down 6-0. How are you supposed to answer that question? Huh?
I guess they don't want you to say I'm not all right.
Yeah, I'm good. I got my good stuff.
They are not holding on Ibanez. And there's a strike. Now that's a little strange to me, not holding on Ibanez. I mean, do you expect the Yankees to call off the Dogs at 6-0 in the third inning?
I almost think at this point, the way baseball goes, it's a good managerial decision because it's almost saying don't run. And if we don't hold you on, you shouldn't be running. And it gets people not to run, not to steal bases.
Santana will make the play, and that will do it. This is the first day of the 4th annual Hope Week for the New York Yankees. And boy, they do some great things. Over the last couple of years, they've helped people and really made memories. Meredith will come in and tell us exactly what happened today. Well, we go to the fourth inning here at Yankee Stadium. Yankees are leading 6-0. 2 more home runs for the Yankees in the previous inning, 3 on the game. So they're up 6-0. Jason Kipnis will lead off against Hiroki Kuroda. Count 1-0. In the booth with us is our very own Meredith Marakovitz. Hi, Meredith.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Can't complain. And apparently neither can Joe Girardi with the way the Yankees are hitting the ball out of the ballpark
Notice
tonight.
how our booth shot just got a lot better, Michael?
Absolutely.
Huh?
Well, I'm not helping it. You.
We're bookending the bed.
Clearly it's Paul coming back to join us.
Exactly. Now, Meredith, you were part of the first day of the 4th year of Hope Week, and this is your first year experiencing it. It's unbelievable what the Yankees have done for people less fortunate. What happened today?
Fantastic. They were actually in the Bronx at the Riverdale Equestrian Center for a organization called Flying Manes. And what it does is it helps children who have physical, cognitive, emotional challenges get on horses, and it's a therapeutic riding center. So you see Eric Chavez right there. Jason Nix was also there. Mark Teixeira was there. Larry Rothschild was there. And that kid in particular, his name was Owen, and he was a huge Mark Teixeira fan. And what they did was none of these kids knew the Yankees were coming. They were just showing up for their horse riding lesson as they usually do. And when they saw the Yankees walking down with the horses, the smiles on their faces are just unbelievable.
It's amazing what I've experienced over the previous 3 years is how much the players want to take part in this. They don't consider it a chore. They don't consider it any kind of labor. They volunteer. They sign up. They want to be there, and they take a lot out of it as well.
Well, that's the interesting part about it, and Joe Girardi spoke about it a little bit today prior to the game, that, you know, nobody is forcing any of these guys to go out to these events. They want to do it. They enjoy it. They like helping people. And one thing that they really like to stress during Hope Week is that it's just time. Anyone can give time. It's not a matter of donating money or anything like that. It's going out there and actually being a part of it, as you see they were today.
You can see the smiles on these kids' faces.
You know what's funny about when you see kids smile is they can't fake it. It's a real smile, and that's a neat thing to see.
And you saw Jennifer Steinbrenner-Swindle also there. The whole organization takes part in this. And what exactly does the therapeutic riding mean, Meredith?
Well, some of these kids have a little bit of difficulty opening up or difficulty doing normal everyday activities. And the kid Owen I was speaking about, he's actually in a wheelchair. And once his father lifted him on that horse, he took the reins, stood up straight, and you see him right there shaking hands, and Mark Teixeira being reunited with him. But once he got on that horse, it was like there was nothing wrong with him, and he didn't have that physical disability. Stood up, held the reins, and literally steered that horse around the entire ring. So it was just something that it allows them to come out of their shell for one reason or another. They also teach them some of the horse grooming and some of those activities. But there are some parents who have said their children didn't start speaking. The first time they ever spoke words was when they were on a horse. For some reason, it kind of puts them at ease, and they really enjoy it. So for them, it's not a therapy session. It's an everyday activity, and it's something that they enjoy doing. But on the parents' half and the parents' side, it's something that they see is really helping their child develop.
And did you ride?
I did not today. This wasn't about me, Paul. This was about the children.
I'm just checking to see.
I have been before, though.
All right.
Low 1-1. Now, Stephanie Dwyer is the young lady who, with her husband, runs this, right?
Stephanie and her husband, Bricklin, started this organization. They formed the nonprofit officially back in 2009. And it's interesting, Stephanie actually comes from East Germany before the Berlin Wall fell. And you can see her right there. She was in tears almost all day, couldn't believe the support and the way people rallied around her organization to make this happen today. But, you know, prior to the Berlin Wall falling, it wasn't a good situation where she was in Germany, and she just would kind of think outside the box, think outside the concrete walls, and just thought about horse riding. for one reason or another, and that's when the initial idea came. She just really developed a love for horses. When she came over to the States, she continued that, and when she did her studies, she took a little bit of a break, but once she got done with her master's at Columbia, or her doctorate at Columbia, I should say, that was when she really put this plan into action and went the extra mile with her husband to form this organization.
Now, I know you're putting together a more detailed piece for tomorrow's pregame show, right?
Yes, tomorrow's pregame will feature this particular Flying Mane story, but all throughout the course of this week, we'll have stories on Hope Week. So check in. There are a lot of great ones out there. I can't exactly tell you all of them yet because not everybody that's involved knows yet, but it's certainly going to be a very touching week.
So you got homework tonight. You got to go home and put together a little. Michael, we're off after the game.
Yeah, Meredith has to work.
Oh, to be you guys, it would be great.
Santana putting together a very good at bat as he fouls at bat. One thing I've noticed, though, and just to see some of the faces involved every single day of Hope Week and to see how they light up, whether it's older people, whether it's teenagers or youngsters, as we just saw right now. When a New York Yankee walks in, if Derek Jeter walks in, or if Alex Rodriguez walks in, you realize what Hope Week is all about, and it's caught on so much. Other teams are doing similar things, and I think sometimes ball players, athletes, famous people lose sight of what they could mean to people. And this Hope Week certainly shows that, boy, Carlos Santana's really taking a beating.
He's a catcher. He's been getting foul tips all day, and now he's getting them at the plate. It's one guy that Maniacta is hoping that the second half is going to be his half, because offensively he's the guy that really they feel can be a big part of this lineup offensively. And this is why you wear those little pads, because they miss every single time. Just on top of the foot.
He's back on his feet. And I've been told by pitchers that when that happens, Paul, they always like to go low and inside again.
Of course, you keep throwing the ball in, because as a hitter, you know the thing is still ringing, it still hurts, so you're a little hesitant to swing at that ball down and in again. You see Tony Pena over there. He knows, ex-catcher. Going to call for that ball down, and then there was nothing worse than going to spring training and pitchers knew you were a little off, and they would throw that ball and you'd beat it off your shin or your knee. Giving him a break. He's going to go away.
3-2, and he walked him. So first and second with nobody out. That's going to bring up Brantley. So again, Meredith will be with us all week and on the pregame show tomorrow to tell us more about this story. Meredith, there's some injury updates you have for us as well, right?
There are. Well, first of all, Russell Martin, of course, out of the lineup, will be used only in case of an emergency tonight, still suffering from some of that lower back stiffness. But Joe Girardi said he's not overly concerned about it. He expects that he may be able to go tomorrow. And Brett Gardner, a lot of people have been asking, when's he coming back? Is he coming back this year? Is it going to happen? Well, he should get that brace off of his arm sometime this week, and then he's going to start slow, doing some more strengthening exercises in hopes of swinging a bat in the near future within the next 2 weeks. But it won't be until he gets in another game, until he knows whether or not that elbow is fully healed.
Good stuff. We'll see you on the post-game show and again tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me join you guys.
Thanks, Meredith. 0-1 count on Brantley. Pitch outside, 1-1. Also want to take the time, the Yankees and everybody here at the Yes Network would like to congratulate the Babylon High School baseball team. They were the Long Island champions, and they were honored before the game. I ran into them, and they were pumped up about being here. So, congratulations to those guys.
Yeah, they really were. When I walked down, you know, batting practice was canceled today.
Nice play by Teixeira. There's one. No return throw, so they get the force.
And here you are, you know, a high school player. You're excited to come watch. You're down on the field, and you know the tarp was on. It was pouring down rain, but boy, they all had smiles on their faces.
See them talking with Johnny Damon there. And that's them now right now. Enjoying the game. And here's Johnny. Grounded out to first. That was in the second. Popped up. That's exactly what Kuroda wanted, other than a double play. And Chavez puts it away for the second out. So Johnny's 0 for 2, 1 for his last 8. Kind of an odd-looking sky, mixture of light blue, dark blue, and pink.
To be an artist, didn't you, Michael?
No.
Huh?
You know what? I would like to be able to draw, but no.
Isn't that something? You either can do it or you can't.
Yeah.
And you see those commercials, how they're going to teach you how to draw. If you can't draw, you can't draw.
That's
You're not going to learn to draw. Look at this. Huh?
She's here all the time. She can draw. I really, Paul, honestly don't have any discernible skills at all. So.
Oh, they're numerous.
The 1-0. Popped up, and Kuroda's going to work out of trouble. Robinson Cano will put it away, and that'll do it as the Indians scram 2. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Wise, Stewart, and Jeter. Everybody has a lot to smile about today, especially the kids from Hope Week. If you can put a smile on a kid's face, you've won. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. The question, Johnny Damon has played for 7 different American League teams. Only 2 players have played for 8 different AL teams. Who are they?
I'm going to throw out Don Baylor. Didn't he play for a lot of teams?
Let's see if you're right. Juan Beniquez and Ruben Sierra. You were a teammate with Ruben. Here's Dwayne Wise. 2-run home run his first time up. New pitcher is Scott Barnes. As Manny Acta makes a call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T.
You see Barnes, he's got that big hesitation right before he releases the ball.
Fouled away.
Guys like this, for hitters who have a leg kick, you know, kind of that timing mechanism can really be difficult because you get going with that leg kick and all of a sudden he hesitates and you really have to have a lot of balance.
Barnes actually went to St. John's. 3-year starter for the Red Storm. Ranks third all time for St. John's University with 263 strikeouts. Swing and a miss, so Wise goes down against the lefty. Last year he was with Columbus. He was 7-4 with a 3.68 ERA. 16 games, 15 starts. Been a starter for most of his career. Here's Chris Stewart. And there's a strike.
And Barnes took over for Tomlin, who ended up only going 3 innings. 6 hits, 6 runs. 80 pitches, 3 innings. Just did not have the type of control that he usually does. These are the games that Stewart, I mean, he's going to get extra at bats because of Russell Martin, and times you get into the bullpen where, you know, you're getting a few at bats against guys that, and then, you know, you get hit on the toe and you got to go to first base.
Santana saying, now you know how I feel. Six nothing Yankees. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. And Derek Jeter coming out with a runner on first and 1 out here in the fourth. Jeter grounded to second and grounded to short. And a strike.
Michael, while I was gone for the last month, I think you messed with my earphones. I got one earphone that keeps going in and out.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a practical joke here. So you're like talking, and half the time I can hear you, half the time I can't.
Some might say you're blessed.
Yeah.
We'll fix that for you.
See how you do that? You snap your fingers, people come running. I like that.
No, you snap your fingers. Oh, what a play by Kochman. And he turns it into a double play. Jeter hit the ball hard, but Kochman speared it and then stepped on first for the double play. No runs, no hits, no errors. And because of that play, nobody left on base. We'll go to the fifth. Hanahan's going to lead off. A couple of championships with the Red Sox. Some news and notes from around baseball. Youkilis was acquired by the White Sox yesterday. Marlon Byrd was suspended for 50 games. Clay Buchholz was placed on the 15-day DL, and Frank Francisco placed on the 15-day DL as well.
Now, can you explain the whole thing with the chicken thing, how he was misquoted and stuff?
He wasn't misquoted. I guess he meant to say something else, that the Yankees were whiners, and it came out that he said they were chickens. And then the New York Post on the front page had a picture of a chicken and Derek Jeter's face on the chicken's head.
Yeah, I saw that on TV last night. I was trying to figure it all. I was trying to piece it together. I'm glad you did that for me, man.
And Tim Burdack, the lone lefty in the Mets bullpen, brought a chicken into the clubhouse on Friday and called it Little Jerry Seinfeld. And it was funny running around, and then they said, well, what do we do with this chicken? And now it's in a chicken sanctuary. A farm in Watkins Glen, New York, took Little Jerry Seinfeld, and Little Jerry was now going to have a very nice life in Watkins Glen.
Ruffling his feathers out in the woods, huh?
I guess so. And the people from the farm said that is one lucky chicken, because I believe that Tim Burdack bought it from a restaurant on the Lower East Side.
You know, that's funny you say that, because I'm stuck in traffic today, and I looked up and I was coming a different way, and
Chisenhall pops it up. Vargas puts it away.
And I'm looking at this store coming, I think maybe even down the Grand Concourse or something, and it's like live chicken. I think you just go in there and pick out your bird, huh?
Yeah.
And they're still like just looking at you. That'd be kind of hard, wouldn't it?
I would be hard for me. Shin Soo Chu. You eat lobster?
Yeah, Mike. Well, I eat pretty much everything. You're the one that's got the issues.
So you could look at a lobster before it's put in the water. That's fine.
Well, by the time it comes out to my plate, it's got a nice little sunburn and it's gone. No, I don't. You order lobster. You don't cook those at home.
No. There's some restaurants that you go to the tank and go, I want that one. So you see it.
I hear you. All right. I'm with you now. I told you it's been a while. The one thing we do have going good right now is the way Croter's throwing the ball. He's staying ahead in the count. And you see what happened. Guys are swinging at that split finger in the dirt. 6-0 lead. It's almost like he is just completely backward of the way he pitched early in the year, where he was behind in the count. Now everything's ahead in the count, and that split finger becomes a dominant pitch for him.
Well, you mentioned in your scouting report, last 5 starts, 3-1, 2.06. He's done the job. And the Yankees got him an early lead, and you pitch with a lot less stress and pressure. Swing and a miss. Chu down on strikes. 1-2-3 inning for Hiroki Kuroda. We are halfway through. Coming up for the Yankees, Granderson, Teixeira, and Cano. 6th inning, and the Yankees have been in control. The shortest outing ever for Josh Tomlin, 3 innings and he's gone. 80 pitches, gave up 6 runs on 6 hits, 3 home runs as well. Yankees trying to build on that lead against Scott Barnes, and for his 2nd inning of work, he'll face Granderson, Teixeira, and Cano. Swing and a miss.
Curtis Granderson, if you look at what he's become against left-handed pitchers, he's done so much of his work against lefties. And remember the first year over here, they were talking about not even playing him against tough lefties. So complete turnaround. 2 good pitches right there. Every once in a while, that little hesitation, it almost sets you up to jump at the pitcher, and you look fastball. Both those balls breaking balls.
Now there's a parallel there. You brought up how it was thought of with Granderson. When you got traded here from the Reds, there was thought that you didn't hit lefties very well, and Paul O'Neill was sat down against some left-handers by Buck Showalter, who was the Yankee manager at the time. How much did that annoy you that people didn't think you could hit lefties, and were you struggling against lefties?
Well, I mean, tough lefties are tough lefties. They're going to get you out. But the only thing that used to bother me, and as you'll see right here, another breaking ball. You know, righties have tough times with tough righties too, but it's never really talked about. It's so one-sided when it comes to that. But you know, opportunity is the big thing. Is the more left-handed at bats you get, the more times you get comfortable. And if you know that you're going to be in those situations late in the game where the game's on the line, you're going to face a lefty out of the bullpen, and you know that those are the at bats that they're going to leave you in. You take a lot of pride in those at bats, and I think it helps you become a better hitter. Now this, to me, is one of the most unbelievable feats in baseball. To me, is being able to be a switch hitter. And Kenny Singleton, I've told him this many times, it's just amazing to me because right-handed, I couldn't hit a ball. It's physically impossible for me to think that you can just walk up there and change your ear flap and hit on the other side of the plate.
Teixeira flies out. Tomorrow at 6, turn to yes before the Indians-Yankees game for a complete preview with Audi batting practice today, and then the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then after the game on My 9, you come back to yes for Yankees Extra Innings, the post-game show. And Wednesday afternoon, we've got full game coverage starting at 12:30. It's right here on Yes.
Wow. You rattled through a lot there, Mike. Well, I'm supposed to get all that, huh?
Just be here tomorrow. Night game. That's what you have to know. Here's Cano. He has a double and a home run. 3 ribbies. And there's a strike. Remember, Showalter said that the lefties he played you against, he felt were the lefties that you had the best chance when you first came over to make you build your confidence, and then he put you in against tough ones. Was that the right approach, obviously?
Well, I think it can be. I mean, I came over from Cincinnati where, they're pretty much played every day, but there were times where you sat against lefties and things like that, and then it becomes just like kind of a stigma that you cannot hit lefties. And as a player, you do take it personally, and you do want to change it because there's nobody out here that doesn't want to play every single day, and especially when you're in the prime of your career where you're 27, 28 years old.
Boy, is he getting some tough hops there at first. Kochman stays with it, flips it to Barnes, and that will do it as the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. This one's right in the breadbasket, but he stays with it as Drupal Cabrera will lead off the 6th. Sunday, July 1st for their final home game before the All-Star break as they celebrate their 27 World Championships with Old Timers Day. Come see your favorite Yankees legends, put on the pinstripes again, and take the field at Yankee Stadium. Be sure to arrive early for Old Timers Day as ceremonies begin at approximately 11:15 a.m. with the Yankees game against the White Sox to follow. Pitch to Cabrera is a strike, count 1-1. Cabrera, Kipnis, and Santana against Kuroda.
Again, from the first inning on, Kuroda's had really good control of that fastball that, he kind of backdoors into the lefties. It's really opened up the outside corner on the later part of the count. Very important when you're facing 9 left-handed hitters to be able to establish a strike inside to keep people from leaning away.
That pitch that he starts at a left-hander's body, and is that hittable? I mean, how do you hit that?
Yeah, I mean, you freeze on it is what happens because the ball's inside and then it runs back. But it's a very hard pitch to control because if you miss it all and get it out over the plate, then it becomes a home run pitch. So, sure, you can hit it, but usually you hit the one that's a mistake.
If it's thrown correctly, though, it would seem like it's a very tough pitch.
I mean, really the only thing you can do is hammer it foul, and that's what you try to do is get out. It's kind of like that cutter of Mariano's. Really, the only way to hit it hard is to pull it foul.
Swing and a miss as Cabrera down on strikes.
He keeps saying the same things over and over, but he continues to do it. He gets ahead in the count, establishes a fastball in, goes away with a fastball, then he comes back in with that split finger. And he just gives, just takes enough speed off of him when Cabrera is out in front. See that bad head all the way through the zone, ball not even there yet. I'm talking about a good hitter, too.
There's a strike to Kipnis. Kipnis grounded to second and walked.
You look now at just a confident pitcher. I mean, there's a slider. It's just almost like, well, I haven't thrown one of those. Let's throw that for a strike, too. So now he has everything working. He's got his fastball inside, his two-seamer. He's got his split finger. Then he just started him off with the slider. So you're looking at a confident pitcher that's got good control of all of his pitches tonight. We talked about Kipnis. You see his funny way of kind of starting his swing and almost setting it as a golfer standpoint. You kind of set your club to the angle you want to swing in that swing plane. But there's high hopes for him. Again, he started out as an outfielder, has become a second baseman. Done really good things offensively for the Indians this year.
Grounded to first. Kipnis steaming down the line, but Teixeira beats him to first for the second out. All right, it's time for the results of tonight's Toyota Text Poll. Again, the question, if you were starting a team tomorrow, which of these shortstops, age 26 or younger, would you want most? And here's how you voted. 36% want Starlin Castro of the Cubs. Then 29% Elvis Andrus. Then Cabrera and Desmond and Gordon are pretty much even at the bottom. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. Here's Santana. Santana grounded to second and walked. Count 0-1.
Remember Santana's last at bat. He's still going after that back foot this time. He beat a couple balls off his shin and the top of his foot. Kind of overthrew this fastball. It's so hard as a hitter to get out of the way because all your weight is going back to receive, to get ready to swing, and you just cannot get that foot out of the way because there's so much weight on it.
1-2 count on Santana. And swing and a miss. 6th strikeout for Hiroki Kuroda. He has retired 8 in a row. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Nick Swisher will start it off for the Yankees. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Toyota, the official hybrid of the New York Yankees. There has not been much stirring in that Yankee bullpen, really none today, as Kuroda has been on his game. 6 innings of 2 hits, scoreless ball. And the Yankee offense gave him 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 in the third for a 6-0 lead. 3 more home runs for the Yankees, as they now have 115 on the season. And Scott Barnes will enter his 3rd inning of work. And Swisher will move to the right side. Swisher with an opposite field home run to left from the left side in the 3rd, struck out in the 1st.
I was just looking at that billboard you were talking about. You did center stage with Charlie Sheen. I mean, so much was brought up about him. I mean, he's pretty much exposed to everything. Did you learn anything new in this thing?
Some different stuff, yeah. I know he's at the ballpark today.
Is that right?
Yeah, he actually took a lot of kids, and he said you see a lot of people do nice things, and they put kids, you know, they buy kids bleacher seats and stuff like that. He goes, I bought a whole bunch of kids that are not as fortunate, like really good seats, so they could see the seats and see the game the way people see him. So he actually, the kids didn't know who bought it. He was just going to show up and sit with them tonight, but I'm not sure where he is.
Me? Yeah.
I think you were one of Charlie's favorite players, though, because he's a Reds and a Yankees fan.
Yeah. You know what?
So he got both sides
actually
covered.
had a batting cage at his house, and you know, just an avid baseball fan, loved him.
And many people have been asking, when's the show going to be on? It's going to be Friday, July 6th, as you can see on that sign behind home plate. And again, Charlie Sheen's name the same size as Joe Buck's, and mine is really, really almost unreadable.
Probably because everybody's center stage. Okay, it's like one word, you know.
It's a long word. Here's the 2-2, swing and a miss. Barnes took something off that, so he has 3 strikeouts in 2 1/3 innings.
Nick Swisher way out front. It's one of those at bats where you know you've already done some damage and you can take a strikeout a little bit easier.
Here's Raul Ibanez. And a breaking ball strike. And the count now 0-2.
See, Barnes has given lefties a little problem, and it's just that hesitation. He kind of jumps at you, and you just, when the pitcher jumps as a hitter, you have a tendency to jump at it, and it just makes everything happen a little bit quick. You don't pick up the ball as well.
How do you fight that?
You just hope he makes a mistake, but you really do. You try to wait back, and you try to get away from the motion and look for the ball. And sometimes it can take a long count where you really start seeing the ball a little bit better.
And the 1-2. Did he go around? No, he did not. Now 2-2. Grounded to first. Kochman flips to Barnes for the second out. Kochman's getting a workout at first base.
He's had some tough ops you talked about, but again, defensively, he's as good as anybody. Teixeira, you're seeing 2 of the best in the American League tonight defensively. as a fielder, you've had a couple bad hops, you start getting a little hesitant over there to stay down on the ball, but he does that. Wow.
He's been active.
He's got his own little highlight defensive video.
Pitch outside to Chavez. Count 1-1. Chavez singled and then scored on Dwayne Wise's home run in the second. Chavez's production, the fact that he plays a really good third base and gets some timely hits, it really allows the Yankees to rest A-Rod when they want, to DH A-Rod, and they don't feel as if they're losing much by putting in Chavez. He's been a valuable piece for the Yankees on the bench.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of is Ruben Sierra, who was, you know, a star in his own right, an everyday player. Chavez, the same thing, Gold Glover. But all of a sudden, they've accepted this other role where they're happy and still productive. And Eric Chavez can still play. He can still field third base. He can still hit. But he's able to put things aside and realize that, you know, this is his job here with the New York Yankees, and he's got an opportunity to win here.
And you know what? He's really honest with himself, Paul. He said, my body can't stand playing anymore every day. It wouldn't be able to stand up to it. And that's what kind of derailed his career in Oakland. This is the best thing for him as he works a walk. And once you come to that conclusion and you don't have that ache to play every day and feel that you should be playing every day, I think it becomes easier for you to be a role player.
And you know, you get starts against guys that you know you can handle. You're fresh when you go out there, and mentally you've already dealt with not playing every day. And you're right. He's the perfect guy for what he does for the Yankees.
Nice to have a guy come off the bench who won 6 straight Gold Gloves at third base. That's how good a defender he is. Here's Dwayne Wise trying for 2 home runs there. The count 0-1.
You know, Dwayne Wise, you get a start, you know, you're probably not expecting. All of a sudden, you know, you hit a home run. It's a highlight of your year.
And it makes a manager feel really good as well, because when do I take Granderson out and make him the DH? And then the day that you do, the guy who fills in for him hits a home run. It certainly makes Girardi feel as if, hey, I pushed the right button today. There's a button.
It's funny because every time I see something in the dugout, it brings back the memories. In the days you didn't play, you would, Tino and I would sit over on that bench and you would try to click that button as quick as you can. And if you got down to .03, 04, that was like unbeatable. So it was like a poker hand. If you had a bad one, it was like over a second. So those are the little games you play in the dugout when you're not playing.
Bartolo Colon did it every single day when he wasn't pitching.
Yeah. We draw pictures up here, Mike. We just do them on page. You read notes. It just depends where you're in the dugout or if you're up in the booth, you know.
Different strokes. I am a little bit concerned about you, Paul.
Really?
Game started at 7:10 today. You have not had one thing to eat. And what's, I mean, usually there's like 3 different. What happened?
So what happens, like when, you know, you haven't been to school in a while and you got a test.
Right.
You show up early and cram a little bit, right?
So you ate early?
Yeah, I got it early. Got warmed up. These are all new pictures to me. I've hit every one. Read my game notes between meals. Look at that. That whole row's gone right there. That was that looks like Fred Flintstone's freezer right there. Bert shakes. Now who can send a shake up here, Michael? That's what we need. A nice summer night in New York.
3-2. Lined into right center field. It's a base hit for Wise. It's going to go to the wall. Chavez rounds third. He will score. Wise is going for 3. The throw is not in time. It's an RBI triple for Wise, and the Yankees lead 7-0.
Again, Michael, you talked about it. Joe Girardi's got to feel good, and Weiss did a good job here. He kind of ran in the direction of the play. He's out. Everything goes well. You hit a home run, you get called safe at third.
Take a look at the Coors Light freeze cam. Oh, he was out. Here's the cam. I don't think that was the cam. Here's the cam. Freeze it. No, now. There you go. So they did get him. The Coors Light freeze cam. And that is pretty clear that they did get him. That's an impressive hit for Wise against a tough lefty who's leaving the game. Manny Active is going to go to his bullpen. Yankees have a 7-0 lead. We are here in the 6th. Verizon Fios introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Justin Masterson has pitched well in June, 4-6 overall, though 3.98. Phil Hughes, 7-6, 4.94. Our coverage will begin at 6 on the Yes Network with the BP show and then the pregame show. Then we'll start the game on My 9 at 7, and then extra innings following the game, the extra innings postgame show on Yes. So that's your whole day. And the new pitcher is Esmil Rogers.
You know what? If you told me his first name, I would never guess his last name would be Rogers. Esmil
Rogers. That's what it is. As Stewart takes a strike. 7-0 Yankees. Dwayne Wise with 3 ribbies in the game, a 2-run home run and an RBI triple. .97 miles an hour.
These young fellas come in throwing hard, and you just know that control and walks and things have to be an issue to have that kind of stuff. And there's another run. You pick up this run, you get an 8-0 lead, then you're going to give Joe Girardi an opportunity to possibly get Derek Jeter out for a couple innings. Games like that can help.
So Rogers strikes out Stewart, and that'll do it. But the Yankees pick up a run on 1 hit, 1 man left. We'll go to the 7th. Brantley will start it off. By Mazda, 6 strikeouts for Kuroda.
Kuroda's done a good job, and if you'll watch these swings, they're all split-fingered fastballs out of the strike zone, and they were all set up by getting ahead in the count with his fastball, and he's had a good put-away pitch in that split finger tonight.
So 6 strikeouts for Kuroda. He's allowed just 2 hits. 2 singles, 1 by Brantley and 1 by Chu. 4th straight game with 6 or more strikeouts. And the first pitch is low, 1-0 to Brantley here in the 7th. Cadillac scoreboard 7-0. The Yankees lead. Grounded to Cano. He gobbles it up for the first out. Hitting the road, take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Here's Johnny Damon. Damon 0 for 2 tonight. So odd to look at Damon's average, and it's 198.
Yeah, it's just some things don't add up, and if you know Johnny Damon, it's just not the type of hitter he is.
And there he gets a base hit just inside third. And the ball kicks out to Ibanez, so Damon picks up a double.
Shoots him over 200, I guarantee it. Gets a little love from Robbie Cano out there at second.
Cano gave him that look as if to say, really?
Yeah. Shoot that one over to third base. See, Johnny Damon shot all the way to 205 with this hit. Makes you feel better about yourself when you come in hitting 190 something, you go home hitting over 200. Tell those are ex-teammates there. You can tell that.
Here's Casey Kochman. And there's a strike. Count 0-2.
You know, we saw that highlight earlier in the game of Kevin Youkilis's first at bat in Chicago, and I mean, in your mind, does that make them a legitimate team?
Well, it makes them better because I believe that their production from third base, Paul, was like 198 with 1 home run, so it can't make them worse. And Youkilis seems like he has something to prove. Will Middlebrooks had such a great start that Bobby Valentine had to keep maneuvering to somehow get Youkilis in the lineup. That's going to be a tough play for Jeter. Oh, and he makes it. Gets Kochman. A great backhand scoop by Teixeira.
Derek Jeter again. He doesn't leave his feet, but he makes a good throw. Teixeira, good pick. And again, Michael, you said right off the get. I mean, left-handed hitter out of the box, clearly out at first base.
Pitcher loves it. Here's Hanahan. 0 for 2, grounded to short and struck out. Fouled away.
And if you look what's happened over the past couple of weeks, and coming into the year, you know, the Yankees weren't scoring a lot of runs, and this is what the fans expected, you know, with Teixeira and A-Rod and Granderson, just home runs, you know, night after night, and that's what you're getting. You're winning games that way, obviously, but, you know, if they start to become a little bit better at driving runs in like Cano did early in the game, then all of a sudden, you know, you add your home runs and you end up with a 7-0 blowout.
Well, Kuroda's about to throw his 100th pitch. Nice catch by a fan in the stands. But he paid for it by getting doused with beer. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 7 again on a splitter by Kuroda. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left at the end of 6 1/2. It is time for the 7th inning stretch, and one of the highlights of that top of the 7th was a beautiful backhanded scoop on the Jeter throw by Teixeira to get Kochman. Well, the Yankees lead 7-0, but will stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
And around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Of how many of their starters they've lost, and that's one of the strengths of their team is their starting pitching, and they have really had to battle that. So tough break for the Blue Jays, but they do lead the Red Sox, as Bob said, 7-5. Here at Yankee Stadium, bottom of the 7th inning, and the Yankees are leading 7-0. It's been all Yankees from the start. There's a Cadillac scoreboard, 7-7-0, leading 0-3-0.
You're looking at the box scores it's in the paper today, and every team in the American League East over 500. And now with interleague play over with, you're going to start playing a lot of, American League East teams. That's going to change. And, the Blue Jays are going to have trouble. Boston's going to have trouble because the Yankees are playing their best. Tampa's got that pitching. So things are going to change here in the American League East in the next month or so.
Are you surprised at your former manager keeping the Orioles up there?
Well, you know what? We talked about it early in the year. When does it become a surprise? And he really has changed the scenery there. There's no doubt about it. And, they're a good baseball team. They've got some good players. It's just so hard to turn the corner when, you're fighting against the Yankees and the Blue Jays and the Rays every, day in and day out coming down the stretch.
Orioles 10 games over 500, 2.5 behind the Yankees. Rays 3.5 back. Grounded, foul. Yeah, it's so weird. You look at Boston's record, they're 5.5 games out. That same record in the Central Division, they're in first place because that's the record the White Sox have.
Right, and there's a lot of teams like that, and you know, it's going to be interesting this year with the wild card. But, you know, if so many players in so many cities say if we were in another division, and it is true, and it's the same with, you know, the Central and the National League too. I mean, it's just a weaker division right now.
Well, a lot of people feel that the fairest way to decide the wild card is to have a 15-team league.
Yeah.
And then you would take the first 5 teams and they would make the playoffs. That would be the best 5 records. But then you would lose the division format, and the whole idea of having the wild card is to keep a lot of teams in it for the longer period of time. So the 15th and 14th place teams really wouldn't be in it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, the rivalries you have really make baseball what it is. And, you know, so much is based on the history and what has gone on in this game. I'd hate to see that go away. But, you know, the first time the wild card was even introduced, it was like, you know, is it going to change things? And it really has changed things.
Jeter with a base hit up the middle, his first hit of the night.
And I guarantee Joe Girardi asked Derek Jeter, do you want the night off? Do you want the rest of the night off? Do you want and Derek Jeter, no, let me have another at bat. And when you're 0 for 3 and you're struggling a little bit, a lot of guys would just take the rest of the day off. Stevie Donahue. See, this is when you start, when you're a manager and you're up 7-0, this is when you start taking advice from the trainers. You even go over and ask Stevie what he wants to do.
The 0-1. 1-1. Esmil Rogers is the third pitcher used by the Indians. Time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 7-0 Yankees. Yankees' 5th straight game with 2 or more home runs. Dwayne Wise has had a great game in a spot start, a home run and a triple. And Kuroda, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 100 pitches over 7 innings. And no one's up in the bullpen. So they'll let Kuroda pitch the 8th.
Ricotta out there doing the looks like the guy from Mask out there, the head bobbing back and forth. Jim Carrey move.
Those must be great seats to watch the game. You're on those high chairs, your head's over the fence, and kind of the catbird seat.
There's some stadiums that they're close enough, Texas being one of them, that you'd sit out there and all of a sudden you'd hear things falling, and they were like flicking sunflower seeds and stuff out as a right fielder, and it hit the grass by you between pitches and stuff.
Well, these are the Ranger pitchers or your pitchers?
No, I mean, there were certain ballparks where your pitchers were behind you. It'd be your pitchers.
Oh, okay.
Johnny Franco used to do it in Shea Stadium now because they were that close, because I was an ex-teammate. They play little games and see if they could hit you out there.
Now, was 0 for 3 Paul O'Neill as accepting of that as 3 for 3 Paul O'Neill?
If sunflower seeds were rocks, I would have thrown them back at him. It was a much better time to play games out there when everybody was in a good mood, no doubt about it.
Randerson goes down on strikes. Those are some giant seeds.
Yeah, like ammunition out there.
There's Mark Teixeira. Like a little bald guy on the package at the seeds. I wonder who that little guy was. I don't know if you saw that. This guy right here. It's like Ben Franklin. Oh, ouch. That got Teixeira. And he's going to take first. And Rogers throws hard.
You know, the big thing here is if it gets you to where you're still gripping the bat and then the ball kind of smashes your hand or the bat, or if you just kind of let go of the bat right when the ball is hitting, it doesn't hurt as much. But getting hit in the hand, it looks like he had his hand right on the bat. And that ball just ran up and in, no chance.
He's going to stay in the game. Look at his hand quivering.
Just that pinky. Looks like it got him right on those last two fingers.
Last time we saw something like that was when Andy Pettit barehanded the ball on the mound and he held his hand out. It was quivering. And that's what Teixeira's is doing right now. So first and second, one out for Cano.
These at bats that are really important because, like we said earlier, it almost becomes a mental thing that, you know, you're not coming through in these situations and you start grinding a little bit too much. You know, Robbie had that big double early in the game. Another time you can start, you know, just getting on a roll of every time expecting to get hits in these positions.
Is it also important to a player, because the new All-Star voting came out and he's leading second baseman, to have bigger numbers when you go to the All-Star game?
Well, I think at the beginning of the season you always kind of set goals, and you know, I think that everybody wants to go into the All-Star game with, you know, their sack of numbers, and don't think you don't. But I mean, Robbie Cano is so good that he's going to put up numbers. But you know, there's one thing, if you can pick out one thing in his game so far this year that he would want to improve, this is it.
Count 3-0.
I didn't see the All-Star voting. Robbie Cano's leading. Anybody else?
Jeter's leading. I believe that Granderson is second. Second among the outfielders. (3-0). 3-1. Right back to Rogers. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. Sounded like a broken bat. Ground ball back to the pitcher. 1-6-3. Yankees strand one. We go to the eighth. It'll be 9-1-2 in the Indian order. can vote along with us for tonight's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Robinson Cano, number 2, Hiroki Kuroda, number 3, Dwayne Wise. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Chisenhall rips one into right center field. It's a base hit. Nick Swisher cuts it off and fires it into Jeter and holds Chisenhall to a single. Nice play by Swisher.
Ball out in the zone. One of the few times he's really missed early in the count.
After his neck dance, Clay Rapata now warming up. Hyundai scoreboard, 7-0 Yankees. Kuroda trying to even his record at 7-7. Driven out to right field and deep. Nick Swisher's going to have to play it one hop up against the wall. Chisenhall is at third, Chu's at second, and that's where they stay. Second and third, nobody out for the Indians here in the 8th.
We talked about Chu, American League leader in doubles. We just added to it.
And Joe Girardi was trying to squeeze one more inning out of Kuroda, but that will do it. With Cabrera coming up, Joe is going to call on Clay Rapata, and Kuroda will get a nice hand. He goes 7+. He gives up 5 hits and doesn't allow a run. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. By Blimpie, America's Sub Shop, and by Acura Advance. Clay Rapata faces Cabrera. And batting from the right side, Cabrera takes low 1-0. Second and third, nobody out. Yankees play the infield back. They'll give up a run. The numbers on Rapata, very good. He's done a good job for the Yankees. Buck Showalter had Rapata last year out of the Orioles bullpen, and they let him go. And he said, I knew he could help a team. He said, but our bullpen wasn't ready to have a guy who could just come in and get lefties and not get righties. He said, we weren't at that point yet. He said, but I knew somebody would grab him. He said it was a great pickup by the Yankees. Now, with the bullpen doing so well, Mariano had his surgery on June 12th, hoping to get back at the beginning of next year. But the Yankees do have reinforcements coming. David Aardsma, who was really a very good closer for the Mariners and had Tommy John surgery, he's due back sometime in July, maybe the end of July. And the Yankees said the other day that Jabba Chamberlain has not had any setbacks, and he could be back sometime in August. This was a guy who had such a severe ankle dislocation that there was some thought that he might not ever pitch again, but he insisted he would pitch again, and he was going to pitch this year, and it looks like he might just do that. And what a boost that could be to bring in Jabba throwing 95, 96, and David Aardsma, a legitimate closer, added to the mix. It can only make a strength even stronger.
Well, I tell you what, if you look at the bullpen, it's really been the strength for the Yankees, and Soriano's done a great job since Mariano's been in. Robertson's back. He kind of fills that 8th inning, and with Rapata and Epley, you can really just match up guys, and it's got to be kind of fun for Joe Girardi to just start matching up these specialty guys to get to his late inning guys if he needs them. Ouch.
It always misses the guard.
Just seems to. We're one of those. I hit a ball once, the first time I ever wore those, and we were in Milwaukee, and I didn't wear that up there, and I got back to the dugout, and I had this big like softball on my shin, and Gino called me over.
3-2 is lined into right field, coming on Swisher. He slides to make the catch, and Chisenhall heads back to third. He was off the base. He would have been able to tag up on that, but he came down the line thinking it was going to fall in. If it fell in, he would have scored anyway.
Played by Nick Swisher, and the first step is what makes this play. The fun part of the catch is after you catch the ball and you get to slide. See that Nick Swisher has a little fun with that.
Right, so you have a softball-sized knot on your leg.
And, you know, I'm wondering if I'm going to play. Well, I play that night, and I don't wear the shin guard that Gino gives me. And so I get back to the dugout, and we're in Milwaukee. I still remember. And Gino calls me over. He said, Mr. Steinbrenner just called down here and said, if you don't have that shin guard on, you will not. I wear that shin guard for the rest of my career. So just little things that pop in your mind when it's a 7-0 game.
He said you will not play?
You will, there were a few other words in between, but yeah. Oh, he's got a special East in there. Gino had mine all numbered, tried to make it look pretty, so it would be kind of cool to wear.
That one is lined into right
Another
field.
shot.
Nick Swisher makes the play. This time Chisenhall tags. He will score. The throw comes into Jeter. It's a sac fly off the bat of Kipnis, and the Indians on the board. Yankees lead 7-1. Nick Swisher's getting some love out in right field.
And when you're in right field, and it's just like everything's getting in good play, you get to make good throws, hit a home run, a lot of good things are happening.
Here's Santana. Outside 1-0.
You see a lot of these Cleveland Indian guys against the lefties switching around. They have some switch hitters. One time, 9 consecutive people, all left-handed against Kuroda.
Since May 24th in 20 games, Santana really struggling. 164.
This is a guy that, you know, they expect to put up big numbers. This isn't a catcher that they figure, you know, they'll just get away with because he's so good defensively. Offensively, he's capable of doing some big things.
Sandy Alomar Jr. is the catching coach and the bench coach for the Indians from Maniac.
Again, we said it early in the game when Derek Jeter fouled off a couple pitches. When you're struggling a little bit, those are the pitches that you should be putting in play and getting your hits. And, you know, you line that pitch foul. Now you give that pitcher an opportunity to make his pitch. And that's where you get in trouble as a hitter.
The 2-2. Another chance for Swisher. Will he make this one? Oh, yes, he does. Swisher makes all 3 putouts. You think anybody else enjoys the game as much as he does? We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. A nice running play by Swisher, and then he talks to his fans. And you know what? He's going to lead off the bottom of the inning, too. How about these plays by Nick Swisher?
That's a right fielder's dream. Tied a record, made all 3 catches in an out, all 3 outs in an inning. Oh yeah, so you go over there towards the wall. There's some of your regulars are over there. Some guys that come to the games every night.
So you set a record by making 3 putouts. Of course, you have to lead off. Yeah. That's what Nick is going to do right here. His 2 strikeouts sandwich a home run in the 3rd inning. New pitcher is Jeremy Accardo. And Accardo deals a strike. And Aaron Cunningham is a new center fielder taking over for Brantley. Hyundai scoreboard 7-1, Yankees lead. The numbers on Accardo, this will be his 15th game. 1-2. Crowd of 42,290 here at the ballpark tonight. Freddie Garcia is up for the Yankees in their bullpen. I'm a little nervous, Paul. I'm a little nervous because I think you've lost some of your mojo.
Why?
You asked for ice cream shake up here. Nobody.
I got cut off. Let's have a little competition. If anybody's listening in the Hard Rock or Johnny Rockers, they make milkshakes too, right?
Yeah.
We'll have a little race. If anybody's listening, see who can get one before the game's over.
I don't think you have the mojo anymore. You've been away so long.
I've been telling you that for years. You just didn't believe me. So the race is on.
You're asking the bottom of the 8th.
Well, how long does it take to smash up a little ice cream and milk? It's not like it's...
You got the $7 and the 890 calories?
Come on, boys. Make us look good.
3-2. Still 3-2.
You need a long inning here, Michael. You know that?
A very long inning. Takes a while to smash some ice cream. Nick's helped you out. He's worked a full count. Swing and a miss. Swisher down on strikes. Struck out 3 times tonight.
It's like a Reggie Jackson night. 3 strikeouts and a home run.
Later tonight, don't miss WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper discusses the Yankees' Red Hot June and their recent interleague success. It is the Joe Girardi Show tonight after the postgame, and catch a new show Sunday at 6, only on Yes. Here's Ibanez.
That's it. Work the count, Rob. Work it.
I'm going to make a prediction.
It's
got
not
no
happening.
chance.
I got no chance?
No chance. Ground ball to second. Kipnis. 2 away. And they only had to bring 1 because I'm not drinking one. And that'll bring up Chavez.
You ever see that little Johnny Walker man that runs around the scoreboard?
Yeah.
He's fast. He needs to deliver one of those things to the booth real quick. Any of you fans who have been to the ballpark know what I'm talking about on the scoreboard. The little Johnny Walker man really can run around this stadium.
Chavez has scored 2 runs. He's 1 for 2. A walk and a single. Count 1-1. A lot of good food around here. Ground ball up the middle. Oh, what a play.
Cannot make that play.
That might have cost you your shake. We're going to go to the 9th. Can the Yankees close it out? We will see who's going to be pitching for the Yankees. Stay here after the last out for the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry recap all the action from tonight's series opener with highlights from around baseball, plus Meredith Morakovitz will chat with the team in the clubhouse, and you'll also hear Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame only on Yes. New pitcher for the Yankees, Freddie Garcia. As he tries to get the final 3 outs. Freddie's been throwing the ball a lot harder. And if he's going to throw 90 miles an hour with his fastball, that makes his split all the more effective. And when he got taken out of the rotation, his fastball was about 84, 85. And he deals to Cunningham, and there's a strike. Aaron Cunningham first at bat. And 2. That fastball was 88 miles per hour.
That's pretty much what he pitched at last year when he had good success.
7-1 Yankees. 3 more home runs for the Bombers as Cunningham swings and misses, 1 away. To bring up Damon. Count 1-0. Johnny's 1 for 3, doubled inside the third base line in the 7th inning. Oh, strike. Count 1-2. And the 1-2 to Damon. 2-2. Two. 3-2.
It's funny because a lot of times you look at a player and you'll think it just doesn't look right in that uniform. Johnny's had so many uniforms on it, he's starting to look normal in any of them.
Jeter guns down his former teammate for the 2nd out. 1 out away from another victory for the Yankees, as they will win their 3rd straight if they can get that out. It'll be their 44th win of the season against 28 losses. And here's Casey Kochman. Kochman is 0 for 3.
When you talk about uniforms and everything, you get a flashback, and Cleveland's gone back to the big block C on their helmet. I went to Clinton High School. It looked just like our junior high school helmets. Remember how they used to have the Indians?
They had the Chief Wahoo, and they also had the strip C.
Wahoo, there he is. Now it's Clinton Junior High School.
1-1. One strike away. There's that 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
That had movement too inside, ran it back out of the plate.
Garcia said, "I just want to help this team win." He said, "I want to pitch more important innings, and when he keeps throwing that hard, he will find his way into bigger outs." The 1-2. This will do it. Cano, and the Yankees win 7-1. Garcia retires the side in order. A win to even his record at 7-7 for Kuroda. And the long ball again played a big part. Nick Swisher with one. Robinson Cano with one. And Dwayne Wise with one as well. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. So 115 home runs on the season for the New York Yankees, and a big day for Dwayne Wise. A rare start for him in center field. He gets a 2-run home run and an RBI triple as well. Nick's feeling good about things. Paul O'Neill is not. He did not get his ice cream shake that he wanted. Nothing. But we got plenty more for you. We have an award to give out. We'll wrap things up, and then Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry and Meredith Marakovitz will take over on their end. Right here at 7-1 Yanks.